feelings hurt. Read this.
Welcome to the Kármán line.
What the?
The Kármán line short review.
Hi.
What the?
Are you okay?
D's jumping in, stealing your thunder, Kenny.
I'm stealing your thunder.
Hey, welcome to Karman.
Hey, your thunder is mine now.
It's already done.
I've stolen it.
This is welcome.
You can say it again if you want.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, it's fine. Floor's yours.
Floor's yours. Here's your thunder back. You're not supposed to eat the thunder.
Welcome to Karman Line Short Film Review.
That's more like it.
This is the only place in the universe where you can watch
Kármán line short review.
Thank you. That's what I said, you dummy. Welcome back. This is the place where you can see three cursed filmmakers reviewing your short film.
Short film.
Yeah, user-submitted short films.
User-submitted short films. That's right. We do reviews here. That's what we do on this show.
We do reviews here?
Yeah, we do a review
That's
show.
all we can do.
What is this?
This is a film dog motion picture.
Oh, cool.
And it is directed by Adda.
Cool.
Thank you.
And
Thank you,
it's
Zach.
called Bored to Death.
Bored to Death.
There's a link in the description. You can watch this movie if you want.
Yep. Probably a good idea, too. Shall we jump straight into first impressions? Just get right into it.
Let's get right into it.
Okay, D, tell us what to do.
Taylor,
Okay.
why don't you give me your first impressions?
Okay. My first impressions of this movie was that I am not a huge fan of this movie.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Dude,
It's
just
going
gotta
there,
do them
huh?
like
I do. How do you do it like that? It was. I just didn't really care about what was happening on screen. I didn't really care why. I didn't care that he was bored. You know, the character is bored, and that's what the movie's about. But I did not care that he was bored, and so because of that, through the whole movie, everything he does, I just felt like I was not engaged in any of it, and I kept just feeling like it was just random, going nowhere.
just random stuff.
Yeah. To say some nice things, I think it does have kind of a crazy style that's certainly interesting, and the visualization or the editing is crazy and kind of fun sometimes. But that's just my feelings in a nutshell. Bam, there you go.
In a nutshell, Kurzgesagt.
Yes.
You should probably keep those feelings in a nutshell.
Sorry.
Jeez.
I didn't mean to be.
Jeez.
We're just trying to be honest
Little much.
here. All right.
Little much.
We didn't
Sorry.
ask for honesty.
I'm sorry. That's our gimmick, right? Our gimmick is honesty.
That's our shtick.
Yeah.
All right. Is it my turn?
Yes.
You know what?
Go.
You know what?
You
Give me
go.
your first impressions.
Oh, I'll go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me them. Give me your first impressions.
All right.
Yeah.
For D only.
Sorry. Okay.
Please don't watch this. I pretty much right in line with Taylor's perspective. There was a lot of fun stylization, neato camera shots, some neato transitions, but ultimately much of it seemed unmotivated and didn't necessarily connect to the story, move the story along, or tell us anything about the character. And the big thing that I thought was lacking here was some more information about this character. I think that when we introduce a new character, usually there are questions that pop into the viewer's head. First one's usually something like, who is this?
Yeah.
Why are we looking at him?
Yeah.
And we never got an answer to either of those. And so everything that happened after that had very little import.
Import.
You know, it may as well have just stitched together highlights from like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. It's just wacky things happening one after another.
This did have a cartoon
without
vibe.
any
Definitely.
import.
My first impressions, I believe we have a talented individual here, but other than that, yeah, the film itself I don't think really held any, quote, structure. You know, really, there was, like you guys said, just things happening one after the other.
It's a fine piece to show, hey, look, I have some talent.
Yeah.
Specifically on the post-production side.
Yeah. Yeah, the coloring is really nice. The transitions are neat. There's some clever uses of editing. But really, when it comes down to like the content of why we're watching the film in the first place, it doesn't bring your attention anywhere specific for any real good reason.
Yeah, and just intent matters a lot. It really does. And if you're just wanting to show, hey, look at the cool visual effects tricks I know, and my editing capabilities, then you probably should just make a post-production reel.
Yeah, straight
Because
up.
if you're going to put a story in front of our faces, we will disregard your great graphic capabilities if we're not enjoying the story.
Well, because the point of the film should be to tell the story.
Right. The story becomes a distraction from what you're actually good at.
Right.
Unless it's a good story.
Right. That's a good piece of advice there.
Yeah. Shall we jump right into our first topic?
What's our first topic?
Writing. Can I start this one off?
You sure can.
Okay. So there's a quote from Trey
and Matt, makers of South Park.
From
Trey
South
Stone,
Park.
Matt Parker.
Yeah, one of those.
Matt Stone.
One of those.
Combination, something like that.
Parker Stone and Matt Trey.
There
Yeah,
you go.
Parker Stoner,
Yes.
Matt Trainer.
Yes.
Anyway, in their documentary 7 Days to Air, where they do the making of South Park, they have this cool quote where they talk about they write their scripts with these words in mind of.
And I sort of always call it the rule of replacing ands with either buts or therefores. And so it's always like, this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens. Whenever I can go back in the writing and change that to, this happens, therefore this happens, but this happens. Whenever you can replace your ands with buts or therefores, it makes for better writing.
This movie is and then, and then,
Yeah.
and then, and then, and then. There's no therefores and there's no buts outside of the but he's bored in the beginning.
Yeah.
Basically.
So we have event, therefore this,
and
or
then
event, but this.
Yeah, it kind of starts. It goes. Internet goes out. Therefore, he's bored, and then.
Yeah.
It doesn't really go anywhere.
It doesn't really.
Yeah, and you whether you're wanting to or not, you look for structure in a story, even subconsciously. You're trying to grasp
Definitely.
onto a structure, and I kept wondering where we were going.
Yeah.
What is this all? What is this going to culminate with?
Yeah.
There was one moment where he fires off his super BB, and it hits a car, like a traveling car. So now he's like done something that maybe has some like impact in the real world.
Yeah, like consequence.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, he killed someone. We're gonna have some weight now. But no, it was just another gag. We just move on to the next thing, another and another and another, and it never went anywhere. It felt like for a moment we were going to have a payoff of sorts when he drops the BB
Right.
and he sees it falling in slow motion, and I go, oh, here's where we get bored to death. He's going to die.
Yeah.
And he has to pay for this recklessness he's been wrecking upon the community around him. But he just ends up back where he started with his arm in a sling.
Yeah.
It's always an arm in a sling. No matter how bad the catastrophe is, you get a guy with an arm in a sling and a smudged up face.
Yeah, that's kind of like. I almost feel like that is a comedy trope in of itself.
That's
It's like
funny.
that imagery.
Arm in a sling. Sometimes a bandage around the forehead.
Yeah.
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 You need
Propped
a
up leg.
neck brace. That's what you need.
Yeah, neck brace would have really sold.
You know
that.
what's funny? I went to Disneyland recently, like long before we were in the void,
Okay.
with my mom, and she had to wear a neck brace the whole time because of an injury. And I couldn't take her seriously because it felt like
Mom, you're in a comedy,
it
right?
felt like she was doing a bit or trying to do an insurance scam. Because why else would you wear a neck brace?
Damn, dude.
You only wear a neck brace to fake an injury.
That's funny.
Sorry, Mom.
That's funny how that media and entertainment
Yeah.
context bleeds into real life.
Sorry, Mom. Love you, Mom. Big fan of the show.
But
Sue
yeah,
Valentine.
that kind of goes into the comedy that is in this movie, which I felt it didn't make me laugh very much. The one thing that did get me was when he found the BBs that were in like the super BBs. Like I thought that was kind of funny. But a lot of this comedy here is very, very archetypal comedy, I want to say.
That's what I was saying. It felt like a Bugs Bunny character sort
Very
of episode.
cartoonish. Yeah.
Where we're seeing things that we've seen before, but just in other movies and clips.
Yeah, and I think it's clear that that's kind of what he's going for with this. But I don't know, it just didn't work for me. I'm not exactly sure why.
I'd say that the intended audience here is probably close friends and family.
Yeah.
And we talked about this a little bit after we watched the movie. is that none of the lines felt like they were genuine. It looked like
why didn't that can fall down?
Why didn't it?
Yeah. Oh, did it not?
No.
That's actually
he just
pretty
did
funny.
that huge explosion. The can's still standing.
That's funny. That's funny.
That is funny. See?
That's awesome.
It's glued.
That's awesome.
I kind of like that, actually.
Yes. Writing, right.
Yep. Intended audience.
Right, intended audience. Yeah, so it did feel like it was just kind of made for friends or something. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why it felt that way. Can you guys pinpoint?
Well,
because it was tropey? Or?
So we've talked about, like the sum of 4 scale before, and like...
Where's that video?
Here?
Yeah. Right,
it's like in every video.
It's in every episode.
It's become a very integral part of the way we analyze movies.
Yeah.
Right? Because the idea of the sum of 4 scale is how much are you going to require of your audience to interpret the film versus how much you're just going to put on the screen. But sort of related to that conversation is who are you making your movie for? And Taylor's a big fan of films that are what we call like a self-indulgent film.
Yeah.
Where people are just making exactly what they want to make for them. So they're not thinking about the audience. They're thinking about purely expressing the artistic vision that's inside their head.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think those films work because either A, you're going into it in the first place, like you're seeing a David Lynch movie.
Yeah.
It falls into that category, but no one's surprised when some total weird non sequitur thing happens in a David Lynch movie because we know we're going to a David Lynch movie.
Yeah.
Or B, the movie tells you it's this kind of movie.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like the movie itself will in some way let you know early on that we're going on a very non-traditional journey in which you have to use your brain a lot.
Yeah.
This felt like a 4-0 movie.
Which means the movie gives you everything.
Which means the movie
no
gives you
interpretation
everything,
at all.
and yet at the same time did not care about the audience.
How
either.
though? How does that work? How does it work that you're giving all the information that they need, but at the same time don't?
I think it's because the movie's like very on the nose and overt with everything that's happening. Like there's nothing subtle, and yet at the same time, it's telling like a very incomplete story.
Yeah.
Like this fact that I don't know why we're watching this character, why he's so
maybe
bored.
that's what it is then. It's the purpose of everything.
Yeah.
So we're getting all the information that we need except for the purpose.
Purpose for it, yeah.
Yeah.
He's bored.
Right.
The story is he's bored.
So for example, if one of us made a movie like this, just for the other two to watch, then the context would be we want the other people to watch it.
Yeah.
So if I made a film like this, I'd make it, show it to you guys, and the context in my head while making the film is I'm going to show this to Kenny and Taylor, and they'll get all these jokes.
Yeah.
But if I showed it to someone else, they might be lost, even though I'm putting everything that they need on the screen.
Yeah.
So that's what we're saying here then.
Sure.
Could be.
There's no way for us
to know that
Right,
without
we won't know.
hearing
But
from Zach.
But that is I think that's a
comes
conclusion
across that way.
one could draw.
Yeah. That's how it feels watching this
Right.
movie.
Right.
I feel mean saying this, but it kind of feels like I got the impression that this isn't even like a movie that he particularly wanted to make. Like when we talk about like
Genuity.
indulgent films,
Oh, yeah.
like usually when a movie is super indulgent, it's something that the artist really, really, really wants to make for themselves, like some idea they have that they need to do. And I did not really get the impression of that from this. I got this is more of like just something he wanted to make his friends laugh, basically.
To me, it felt well.
Not that
it felt
there's, I guess,
that.
anything wrong with that.
With me, like because I'm a person who likes to do post-heavy stuff, or at least I used to a lot. And all the post stuff that I saw in here felt like almost a self-expressive, self-indulgent kind of thing, where he's doing like the one shot that made me think about that was this one, where he's got a mat inside of his thing here, inside of the whole farmland area, and then we have like little explosion areas that are marking off, where he's done explosions. Like that doesn't feel like something he had to do.
No,
it certainly doesn't feel like something he'd want to put in there for the audience. It feels like he's doing something because he wants to do it in post. So that part kind of feels self-indulgent to me.
So maybe that's what's weird about it, is the only aspect of that self-indulgence that's coming through is in the post.
Right. It's in the style is what we want to call it, and that can go into our next.
What is our next topic?
Well, before we jump to the last thing I wanted to add was, the whole premise of this story is that a guy is so bored that he gets driven to doing some really wacky things. And to me, that means the boredom is intense, right?
Sure.
So the reason it doesn't work for me is just not having any kind of explanation as to why this guy would be so bored in the absence of the internet.
Yeah, and I think it's because it's the focus isn't on the character or the story per se, but it's on the idea of the film being made.
Right. So without having any of that context that I felt like we needed, the character to me came across like a Billy Madison.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Adam Sandler movie?
Yeah.
This felt very Billy Madison, just a guy who has no responsibility at all, right, in this world,
right,
and has just been allowed to kind of like drool his way through life and just kind of be like a satisfied idiot.
Yeah, just watching
character.
Spaceballs.
Right. And if that can work and make for a very funny movie, but I have to be told that, otherwise for this whole movie I'm going, what?
Yeah, it's kind of it's I think he's inadvertently created a world that's unbelievable to us, you know. He's inadvertently created this character that exists in a certain place, and we're not buying into it because it's not I don't think it's made specifically to be like a written piece. I don't think he's trying to say anything with it, you know.
Or there's just more context that's not here on the screen.
Maybe. Right, I still don't think it's I feel like it's more expressive than it is anything else. You know, I don't think he was actually trying to say anything with this film.
Shall we move on?
What's our next topic?
Is it
editing?
It's editing. The makers of this program would like to interrupt this program to talk about their other programs. Go D!
If you happen to be a filmmaker and you've made a short film and you want to hear us talk about it, you can submit it to us via the link in the description.
And if you love what you are seeing here and want to dive deeper into making better movies, you need to join us at our Facebook group, The Kármán Line Cult. There, we have daily discussions about filmmaking, we have weekly live streams, and all kinds of other cool cult-like activities.
And now back to the program. D, why don't you lead us off for editing?
Sure.
Since you relate a little bit.
Yeah, so the thing that we want to talk about with stylization, which I believe was the main focus of this film, was the editing. Like, everything in here, there's quick cuts, we got zooms, we got crazy,
I love that shot.
What do you call it? These montage cuts. Yeah. And they work, you know?
Yeah, they're all fun.
They're really, really fun to move the story along. Like, there's plenty of films that we've seen that we just are bored the entire time. And even though this is a movie that doesn't really have a plot to hang on to, it at least captured my interest visually, not through cinematography, but through cut and cut, cut.
A pace.
The editing was just interesting to me.
I like that Ammo has an exclamation point.
Ammo. Yeah, and I want to say that, you know, the editing had, you know, motivation to it. Like, the person who made this, Zach, you know, understands films, at least. You know, we see this guy drinking a Diet Coke and looks at it, and then we cut to big case, open, snap, you know, and now we have a montage, and we know exactly what's happening now.
Yeah.
You know, the motivation's all there.
Yeah.
And so I like the idea.
I did appreciate the fast cutting. It was just a montage that didn't need to be in the movie.
Sure, yeah.
But that's for a writing conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, we already got it.
Which we've exhausted already.
Done with that.
Yep. Editing, I did feel like I felt a little bored in this movie.
Yeah.
When especially when he starts going around blowing up all this stuff.
That's when it lost.
Yeah, I was like, all right.
It's because after that, if you notice, the stylization kind of stopped.
Really?
Yeah. Because I think he was mostly
because he was using all of his effort making
in visual effects. Yeah. So,
that's interesting.
Yeah, these are just cuts now.
Yeah.
That is a wild color.
I was gonna say
that one.
That was gonna say yeah.
Color is kind of
crazy. That looks like
crazy.
Aviator.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I like it.
So that they show that shot uncolored in the closing credits.
Oh, interesting.
And
yeah, they do.
And all those plants are green.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
purple.
it is. Yeah, I wondered why the color was the way it was. I'm not exactly sure why. Again, it feels like a talented individual who just wanted to do a bunch of things.
It's a movie that is filled with neat things.
Yeah.
That didn't just
Well, it
didn't
didn't
need
say
to be
anything.
There. So yeah, it's a visually fat movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It is not a lean movie. It is just fat. It is filled with a lot of
delicious
things that
fat.
Don't have to be there. More the kind of fat that makes you sick. You
Delicious.
regret the meal.
Greasy fat.
Yes. Fine.
Make you fall asleep afterwards.
What did he
I didn't
shoot
notice it
there
was
that
blue.
had the blue flame? Was that a gas tank?
I don't know. I think that was the.
Are these BBs made of like antimatter or something? Like
yes, yes, antimatter BBs.
It blows up when he drops one.
I loved that idea, by the way. That these BBs for some reason can blow
Explode.
up.
Yeah. I think that is kind of funny. But I just keep. Oh, never mind. Never mind. It's writing. Not even gonna say it. Not even gonna say it.
We are so done with writing.
He shot that.
Yeah, it's a gas main sign.
Ah. Just a thing for visual effects here. I'm not sure if the transfer mode screen was ever used, but you should use that in the future. Makes things look much more realistic.
Will that get rid of the perfectly straight line on the bottom of the
No,
spread?
If you see the smoke is very thick.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it exists in the real world.
Right.
Screen would just take out all the black, basically.
Ooh. You're so smart.
I use difference.
Difference? Bad choice.
Bad choice.
Good choice, actually.
Terrible choice.
Pretty bold to use Spaceballs.
Bold move.
What else we talking about? What's our next category here?
Okay, next category is
That
Acting.
yeah,
acting.
That
Acting.
acting performance
Acting.
performing acting.
This is starring Zach. We're correct?
I
that
believe
right?
so. Yeah, starring the maker.
There are two characters in this movie.
Written by, directed by, edited by, starring Zach.
There's his mom's voice.
Harry. His name's Harry.
Harry by Zach. Oh, Ma he did
He's
Ma's
Ma.
voice too.
Yeah.
He did.
That's versatility right there.
That's incredible.
Wow.
Performance is good. Sorry.
So this is gonna fall into writing, but I'm gonna go ahead and
Oh
talk
my
about
god.
it anyway.
Oh my god.
jeez.
I'll just put the writing icon next to.
Can they be
Thank you.
both up here?
Yeah, we'll
Yeah, let's do
them
both icons.
yeah.
So, in his jokes here, when he's like saying, "suck,"
Yeah.
when they said "suck,"
Right.
suck, it just
It sounded like there was like hesitation.
yeah.
Well,
yeah,
you're
they're
right
holding
about it.
back a
so
little bit.
yes, it definitely bleeds over into the writing category. But we have apparently we're making a world where he's like aware of the audience, right?
I guess so.
Speak
That's
out
kind of
loud.
what it feels like. Yeah.
It's speak out loud jokes. It's like you
Right.
know where the way you monologue in a Shakespeare play,
Right.
right?
Okay.
That's interesting.
Because or he's crazy. He talks to
No,
himself.
it's a self-aware comedy. I mean, is what it is. I don't think he's specifically talking to the audience, but the writer is definitely aware that he should be performing for an audience. I think that's just overcompensating is what it is. You know.
He has a very cartoon character feel.
Yeah, and I kind of really liked that because it was interesting to watch, at least. I don't think it was necessary, and I don't think it helped at all. but it was interesting.
See, that's the repeating theme that keeps coming up with this movie. Though,
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting
things. Oh, that
things.
was interesting. That was clever. That was really cool.
Right.
But none of them
Mattered.
were necessary or helped.
None of them mattered, yeah.
Hey, could you see the title of the book? Right when he turned it there, you saw the cover for just a second. Because I believe he makes a joke directly about the book itself.
I can't read that.
And we can't tell what it is.
Can't see.
No. Right before, as he flips it around.
Oh.
Right as he's flipping it. Okay.
He makes a joke.
Oh, no,
about
it
money.
says rich, I think. Something. Think rich. Something rich. I don't know.
So he made a joke here.
He puts down the book and he says, I don't have any money anyway.
Yeah. So we never actually saw
We
them.
have no idea what he means
No
by
idea.
that.
Yeah, I thought he was just reading.
Yeah, and he's like, book. Books are boring. I don't have any money.
Right.
I'm
I'm like, what?
What the hell?
What was that about?
He's losing his
Oh
mind.
my god.
He does lose his mind in this.
Yes. I think there's a lot of things we keep coming back around.
I
Yeah.
believe we're beating a dead horse.
Yeah, that's
Wow,
embarrassing.
that's grotesque.
That's pretty messed up.
That is disturbing.
The horse is dead. Leave it alone.
Should we just move on to
Questions?
what?
Preguntas? Something's trying to get in.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Question time.
I'll go first.
All right.
This is the part of the show.
Zach.
Questions
This
for
part of
Zach.
the show?
We're asking Zach questions.
We're asking Zach questions.
Yeah, but just if you're not Zach, you can still participate. Don't leave or anything.
Leave.
Stick around.
Leave.
This is not for you.
This is
anymore.
not for you. Leave.
No, stay. Just you can write questions too. You know. My first question is, what is your intent with this film? Was your overall intent to make people laugh, to tell a particular story, or to demonstrate what you're capable of, or maybe just learn some things? I'd love to hear what that central intention of this film was.
I'd like to know if there was a script written at all, or if this just kind of leaked out of your mind. Just I have this idea, so just put it through the
leaky
camera.
brain syndrome.
Yeah, what we always
Very
have.
dangerous.
Yeah. LBS.
I would like to know if comedy is your wheelhouse genre of choice, or if you've done other genres. So let me know.
The color grading was really interesting. Wanted to know what the motivation was behind that,
Good question.
or inspiration. Was Aviator an inspiration? I feel like that was an inspiration.
Huh.
Everyone's inspired by Aviator.
Everyone.
That's an inspiring movie.
It is.
Yeah.
Love Aviator.
Right.
Huh.
Yep.
We haven't figured out an ending yet.
Thank you for submitting your movie, Zach.
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you, Zach. Bye.
Better late than never.
Oh, right, because
Oh, right. We're late.
this
We're
was
late.
supposed to be.
Oh,
out.
I forgot that
Yeah,
we're late.
Zach was right on time.
Zach was
Hey,
Zach
props,
was-
Zach. You
Zach
were
was
on
early.
You're
waiting.
on the,
Yeah, you were early.
on
You're
the
killing
money.
it, Zach.
On the money.
Killing it, Zach.
Just killing it.
punctuality.
Oh, hey, send us some more in the future, by the
Yeah.
way.
you
I
can
want
do
to
that.
see more movies.
I want to see what you have. Hey.
What?
why don't- Try. Well, I noticed this was the only video on your channel.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Make some more.
Yeah, make some more. But
Make more movies.
But I want to see one with less.
Less Zach.
No, less visually intensive things. I want to see something with almost no visual effects and just
Get
Just a character.
intimate.
yeah.
Tell us a little love story.
Be honest.
Yeah. Just be honest with us.
Be
okay?
honest.
Don't hide behind your effects. Get vulnerable.
Get vulnerable.
Yeah.
You have to make art that's truthful.
He did drink Diet Coke in this.
Oh, okay. He did drink Diet
Oh,
Coke,
so is
yeah.
he doing
He's doing him.
Yeah.
He's doing himself?
I mean, is there?
He's doing
Yes.
him.
Is there
He's
anything
doing-
more genuine than just having
There's
a
nothing-
Diet Coke?
you
Yeah,
do
I
you,
mean,
you know?
You know, if you want to yurt it up.
Yurt it up.
Oh,
Have a Diet Coke.
yurt it up.